Have you ever seen something magical in your life? I mean, like, for real, something that just was like magical. And I want to share something with you. It's a short story, and it's about a friend of mine. He's no longer with us, I'm sad to say, but his memory has been for a blessing in my life. His name was Jelly Bean, and I knew him 25 years ago or so, and I used to like to go to music festivals and stuff, and I ran into him. I don't need to tell you the whole story, but Jelly Bean had this little tiny Altoids box, I think is how he started. One of them little, metal tin boxes, and it was take anything, leave anything. That was what it said. And there was little random bits of stuff in there. And he'd go around at the festival and show people, or wherever he was. He went to other places too. But he'd have this box with him, and he'd show people the box, and, and people could put stuff in there or take stuff out. And this kept going for a while. And, within a couple years, he had met Carrie. So Jelly Bean had Carrie Bean, and Carrie Bean and him would go to festivals, and they'd set up an easy up, one of the little pop-up tents. I'm not in one of those. I'm in my little greenhouse because it's still kind of snowy and wet outside, and I thought I'd get out of the wind and whatnot to talk to you. So they got to the point where they had a table set up under an easy up at these music festivals and stuff that we go to. A campground would be rented out for like the 3-day weekend, and a half a dozen bands would play or something like that. Kind of real fun and intimate, great little scene, cool vibes. Well, this table, this little box turned into this table, and it just kept growing and growing with like all kinds of stuff. But the magic was, Carrie would tell me these stories because she was just totally in awe of this. She's like, someone would come along and maybe they needed a safety pin or a needle or something, and there wasn't something like that there. And then, maybe an hour later, somebody would come by and, I need these, somebody left some tape there, and, and they'd kick out like, a pack of needles or something. It's like she noticed that what people were asking for would kind of magically show up after a little while on the table. And so she started to tell people, it's like, well, just come back after a little while and, see if anything changes. But I encountered this on and off for a couple years with them, and it was phenomenal. Like, it was legitimately magical how this thing happened. Carrie, I remember she would be like, this table's getting too rich. There's too much valuable stuff on it. I don't know. They had plastic container boxes full of stuff with. It's amazing. This all started with an Altoids box, and it just said, take anything, leave anything. Kind of like a community junk drawer. These kind of things, there's something to it. I think it's food for thought. I think it's a great idea. I'm going to set up a little tala table. That's what I call it. Take anything, leave anything. I'm going to set up a little table in my neighborhood and see what happens. You never know. But it occurred to me that this was something very special I got to be a part of, and I wanted to share it with you. So you have a great day, a magical day. Thank you.